Well, shoot, this ain't a bad place to start a video.
Heck no.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Brad Jacobson, here with my friend Derek Levy, and today we are here in downtown Manhattan Beach to bring you another episode where we cruise around, tell you a little about the past, tell you about what's there now, and obviously we're here at Shellback's Tavern, starting the day off with nice beer. Cheers, Derek. Derek, why don't you start off by telling us a little about right here where we're at?
We're at the Shellback. This is an iconic place since in the 1970s that, after the volleyball tournaments and late night come out.
Still is.
Oh yeah. A buddy of mine was telling me, Tim Ritter, his dad would fish on the pier in the 40s and come up here, and it was called the Knot Hole then. And then after, somewhere in the 50s, it became the Surf Bar.
Right.
That stayed there until the 70s, until Bob Beverly took over, and it's the Shellback ever since.
And the location.
Yeah, location's
Location,
it's right
hard to
above
tell from this view here, but that's the pier right there. We are going to talk to you more about the pier, just not in this episode here. There's so much going on the Manhattan Beach Pier that we felt it needed to be made its own episode. So we're going to cover that, so continue to follow us. We're going to have that one coming up pretty soon here. It is
a beautiful
nice
day, yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of folks out.
Got our masks back on.
Yep,
we're being good patrons.
We're being compliant.
Well, right across the street there, we have the Strand House.
Yeah, this was a busy block from the longest time. The Strand House, before the Strand House was La Paz. It was an old Mexican restaurant, bar, more bar than anything. And it was pretty cool. It had an outdoor fire pit, and the Dewey Weber contest had their parties there afterwards, which were pretty wild in the 80s. Prior to that, though, which is really interesting, is the very first surf shop in the world. Dale Velzy opened a surf shop right where the corner is. And,
Yeah,
it was Dale Velzy's.
Great location for a surf shop.
Yeah.
So I've heard rumors that before he started shaping here, he was actually just living the life under the pier.
He was mowing boards under the pier, yeah.
Under the pier.
And there were so many balsa wood shavings and crap that he moved up here.
All
moving up here on our right here, where Rockin' Fish is now, was the Hibachi restaurant. This was a way go-to place in the 70s when I was in high school.
Right.
And they had the best artichokes I've ever had. Super tender and good, and the Navy grogs that they would serve.
Navy grogs are still well known today.
Yeah. Those are good too. So the Hibachi was really fun. I was sad to see that place go.
Right.
And they're pretty liberal about serving people underage.
How would you know?
I just heard.
Rumor.
Rumor has it.
That's right.
And then we come up to the corner here where Skechers is now. This was a busy corner too. This was Ocean Liquor. A buddy of mine, John Mayer, used to work here in high school.
Right.
It was also a drugstore before that, way back. So it was a drugstore, it was Ocean Liquor, then it became Bocados. Bocados is a great store in Hermosa.
Right.
And they tried down here and it didn't quite take.
Very cool.
Across the street, this is Diane's Bikinis.
Right.
It's been there forever.
We had Manhattan Pizzeria.
Yeah, and that was a Zeppys Pizza way back when Zeppys were pretty popular in the 70s. First time I ever saw pizza in squares, they'd give you 2 pepperonis on the square, about that big, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cheap and it was good.
Yeah.
And
how much was a slice, you remember?
I think it had like to be 35 cents or something like that, as I recall. That comes to mind. That's my knee-jerk reaction to that question. Below Zeppys was Mickey's Bikini, and that was a very iconic.
Was Mickey's around as Diane?
No. Before Diane's was Rexall Center Drug. And then I think Diane's came in, but Mickey's was still there at that time. There's plenty of places we're missing here.
Right.
Because there's stores have come and gone, but these are the ones that I remember as a kid that had something to do with me. So I don't know why I remember a bikini store. That's a bit strange.
How old at the time? Maybe you were doing a little window shopping.
Yeah, eat my pizza.
They have mannequins in the window?
They did.
Right over here, across the street from where we're at now, currently a Chase Bank. Used to be Bank of America, right?
Yes, that was the first double-story building in Manhattan Beach way back when. It was built in the 20s, I think.
Right.
It was a bank, it was a grocery store. It housed the first post office for Manhattan Beach.
If you come here today, Manhattan Beach Creamery, make their own ice cream, crowded line every single day. I'll bet you there's a line there right now. See that? I don't lie. There's a line there right now. Tell me a little about what the creamery was before it was here.
Well, Gus McConnell had a store here for a while.
Here?
Gus's Market, yeah. And then it turned into a 7-Eleven in the Creamy. Prior to that, way back when, was a Greyhound bus depot.
This was a Greyhound bus
Yep.
depot.
And it was also a drugstore. This has been a busy corner, but this was downtown Manhattan right here.
I think one of the things we have coming up next here is probably one of the most notable.
Yeah, the Lamar
buildings. Yeah.
Yeah, it had a big
Lamar
spire that went up. You could see from the ocean, and it was here until, gosh, I think into the 80s, and then it was torn down and this building was built. But the Lamar was a classic old theater. built in the 40s, I think. It had velvet seats, and it had the curtain that would draw in front of the screen when they were done and before they were open. Cartoons before the feature.
Oh, nice.
All that good stuff. But across the street, in this area here, there's all these new places, but there was a place called Joe's Candy Cottage. And you would go there, and they had chocolate dipped graham crackers to die for.
Really?
Get that and get a bunch of candy and come into Lamar and do everything. It was
So
good.
they'd let you bring in food?
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't. No.
I was gonna say.
That was a knee-jerk.
I know Derek way better than that.
Here, on the same side as the Lamar, there's a small section there, and there was a little restaurant called the Manhattan Patio. It looked like a really cool. There was outdoor seating.
Cool name.
And, yeah, it was really cool.
The Kettle.
Talk about zucchini fries. Those are delicious there. The Kettle's been there since 1973. It's owned.
Wait. I want to know, do you have any memories of eating there after 2
Oh,
a.m.?
I got a memory.
You do remember?
I do. I can't tell you it. I can't tell you it. Off camera, I'll tell you. Or you can edit it out. I'll tell you it right now. But you're gonna
Wait, I'll turn the camera. They can't hear you now.
Yeah. Is that how that thing works? Prior to that, though, that was at Atlantic Richfield gas station.
We got bus depots, gas stations. This stuff would never fly today.
No way.
Right.
And where we're standing, this corner here as well, was a Standard Oil station, which turned into
So
Chevron.
we had competitive gas stations.
Yeah, we had gas wars. Gas wars tonight with my wife.
She's not going to be happy to hear that. Sorry.
This was a backwater. People didn't really come here to vacation or anything. The fishermen came down here and this and that. So it wasn't the vacation tourist area that it is now. You see this little building here with the attached to the Kettle?
Yeah.
That was the Bay 90s, and there was it was a bar, and it was a fun bar. But it was, it didn't last, and I think the Kettle ended up with it, it looks like. All these seem to change a lot in these places. This section here, it was the Hennessy's and maybe the Love Salt next to it, was called Manhattan Coolers. And it was a nightclub in the 80s.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot about the Coolers. Now that was the happening spot to be, right?
That was a happening spot. I think it took both those buildings up there. Well, the green is over here. That was Manhattan Appliance, and they sold, washers and dryers. And it was so quiet when I went in there, and it was like, it had the old white tile floor, and it was just so sleepy, and I couldn't understand how this guy could stay in business. He did not, but he ran that was where everyone got their appliances for years and years and years.
That's crazy.
Right, old school America. This Vaughn's up here, it was a Safeway. Which,
it's always been a grocery store.
It's always, as long as I can remember. I think it was a Safeway.
Gotta be able to get
since the 40s.
When you come down here, make sure you leave time to try to find parking.
Oh my God.
Parking is never a good thing, and we're probably gonna die right now crossing the street here. I mean, look, we got traffic backed up. I don't know if you can see from there.
Yeah.
The light is way up there.
And it's the middle of a workday. It's the middle of a workday. H2O was the name of a nightclub here.
Oh, we had no nightclub here.
Yeah.
The 80s seemed like it had, was that when all these nightclubs started?
Oh my God, yeah, the crowds would shift from like North Manhattan where Orville River was, and then in downtown here was Manhattan Coolers, and then it was Beach Bum Burt's in Redondo.
Okay.
There was Cassidy's up on the highway. CJ Brett's was another bar to go to, so you could sweep through the whole night and be done, So you're right, there were a lot of nightclubs in this and that.
This is where I was telling you we're gonna end at. We're gonna end at Metlocks. Right now it's basically a outdoor shopping environment where you can go and you can hit like restaurants and clothing stores and eye doctors and some really good food in here actually right now. You got a good mix of different restaurants. But back in the day, what were we looking at?
Metlocks. Metlocks is a pottery manufacturing factory. There was a train tracks that went all the way through here, all the way.
Okay.
And there was a spur that would come in here to pick up the Metlocks product and ship it away. But Metlocks, they made plates and...
They were huge.
Yeah.
Pottery.
Really cool pottery though, kind of offbeat, kitschy kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's collectible now.
Right.
And then when the factory closed, it stayed
Old age.
It stayed
I do it too.
I got it. It stayed dormant. Or whoever bought the property, there was a bunch of lead or whatever in the ground from the pottery. And they had to dig a giant hole and clean it all out. It sat empty for a long time, and then here you have it.
Yeah.
It's very well done here.
Yeah, they did a good job, which is funny. It's kind of the absolute opposite of what it used to be.
It was just so blue collar. You're talking about that. You hit that hard, with Greyhound bus and a Rexall drug and a Manhattan Appliance, just real old school kind of middle America town, but it was sitting in a beautiful place on the water.
That's crazy.
And it had to do what it did. This is so beautiful. It's temperate. It's dry. There's no bugs. It's beautiful. And so it makes sense that this place became one of the go-to places, one of the top go-to places to live or visit in the nation.
But hey, I gotta tell you, we have a blast shooting these. I absolutely love it. This is one of my favorite things to shoot. I enjoy it. Please subscribe to the channel and keep following us because we're gonna be covering a lot of different places, just like we did today with the Manhattan Beach, downtown Manhattan Beach area.
Right on. Good
Thanks
job,
for
Dad.
watching.
That was nice. Thanks for watching.